Hi guys. So today I want to talk about a topic which is very near to me, near and dear to me. So it's like entrepreneurship, right? So a friend of mine called this morning and said, "Hey, how do I register a domain?" And he had lot of misconceptions around it. So I asked him, "What is it all about?" So he told me the idea. Then I said, "It's cool. It's very good. What are you going to do with the domain name?" So he thought, I'll buy a domain name and then I will keep it open and it will the spelling is wrong, right? Entrepreneurship, for some reason I feel like that. Anyways, so he said, I will just buy it, and whenever I have time I will build my idea. Then I said, why you want to keep paying for a domain? So he thought, oh, is it I have to keep paying domain every year? I said, yeah, you have to pay it. Then he's like, okay, the first year it will be $1. Next year, they suddenly increase the price, right? He said. And I said, yeah, because the first year they gave us premium, like what you call promotion, right? So they give it for almost free, and then they will charge the going for the next years. So even before buying the domain, my concept was, I want him to just start, right? Because keeping an idea in mind for over a prolonged period of time is not good for our body. So if it keeps there, if it holds your mental space, right, you're like, okay, I want to start this idea, I have this. So the decision dilemma, decision delay, right? Then after a few years you retire, or you get uh, laid off, and then you start working on that idea. The problem what happens is this: nobody will tell you. You go with the assumptions, and all your assumptions become irrelevant, because what problem you set out to solve was only your problem. Nobody else had that, right? And especially when you are retired, it's cool, right? It's not a problem. But if you start it when you are laid off and there was not a product market fit, so it tends to then you'll be in huge pressure. Oh, what did I do? Was it a good decision? Was it a bad decision, right? Instead, you have an idea and you are not sure whether it might work, whether many people will have a problem. Then I said, just get a prototype MVP. If you can build it, cool. If you want website, I can help you. And the problem he was mentioning was more of a B2C, consumer related. Then I felt I wouldn't be able to do a great job with respect to mobile application, because I have to do research and learn, build it. It's a lot of time. Then I said, why you want spend like your time, my time? We'll just give it to somebody. We'll tell them what is that we need. And he had a very good friend who is a mobile developer, application developer, android application developer. I said, we'll just give the task to him, he will build it for us, and then we'll do heavy marketing on that, right? And maybe a lakh or two for building an android app, and then we'll do heavy marketing and see if there is a need for that, right? Whether people want to use it. And if there is demand, then the first version of app is there, right? And we start getting people are what going to our website or our app, they are using it, and it's crashing or whatever happening, right? Then if there is traction, then immediately we can start building a full-fledged solution, right? The second variant of our app. That way we'll get to know whether there is demand, right? And if we always do the calculations in the mind, then we miss the reality. Reality is whether it's a good fit or not, we'll not know until we jump into it. So the best, like any entrepreneur or any successful startup founder, you ask him, like, hey, I'm thinking, how do I go about it? The only thing they will say is just start. The reason they say just start is because many things are unknown in entrepreneurship or whatever areas, right? So it's better to just start and fail fast. The sooner you fail, you know, okay, this doesn't work, you get to know, then you will throw that out of your mind, so it gives your mind space. That way it will be less stressful, and it will do more important or day-to-day task. So keeping your mind free is very important. So if you have an idea, just launch it and see whether there is demand for it, or just launch it within amongst your friends, right? And if your friend is like assume you have like 10 friends and you launch a product or a service and say, hey, this is what I'm offering, and none of them is buying, that gives you one insight that it might be only my problem, they might not have. Then you go next level, you tell it to your extended network, like in your Facebook or Instagram or wherever, right? Hey, this is what I'm building. And see if because sometimes what happens, friends, although they like what you are building, but they're like, oh, this guy just worked with me, just played with me, and he's building this stuff. Although they might need, they might think it's good and they have a need for that, they might not use it. So that shouldn't discourage you, that's human nature, right? We want somebody who we don't know to like do great things, and if somebody amongst us is doing, we not we wouldn't be very supportive of that, right? If some of your friend doesn't take it, so you shouldn't be discouraged. That's what the intent I am telling you. Like maybe somebody else who don't know you, but somehow they got to know about your enterprise through a friend's friend or something, then they might become your customers, right? This has happened with us in the past. So you never know who will be your customer, so you should always build the product, launch it if you can build it, or you don't have the technical abilities, get somebody who is able to build it. The more they are known to you, the people who are building, if you can meet them and yeah, they set expectations, what is it all about, right? And then they can build it. Just build, launch, and see it succeed or fail, and if it fails, then cross out. So this is a very simple thought process I was thinking. So entrepreneurship, idea validation, fail fast. This is very important, fail fast. The sooner you fail, you will pivot. Now when you fail, then the original problem, what you thought is a problem, is not a problem. But because you launched this product, consumers, if even one or two they use it, then they will say, hey, this is how I want to see it, right? Like this feature, like you have 100 features, assume, and there is one feature which you didn't have any hope on that, you just put it as a add-on feature, but people are like, oh, I want that one. Then you can remove all 99 feature, just focus on that one. And this second thing is, whenever you come up with an idea, better to be very niche, like go deep into that idea, right? Because if you are trying 100 different things, it won't succeed. But if you are trying one thing, one particular niche and one particular pain point, the chance of succeeding are very high, and you can give lot of value. But in case if you find idea and you start figuring out like 4 5, and then one will take traction, right? So you should spend a lot of time just building that one thing, and get it to fruition, like pivot, like fail fast, then pivot as the customers needs are. And if no customers at all, then you are clear that it's not a viable business. If there are customers, they are coming up with pain points, they're saying this is what I want, then just focus on that one core feature, build it so good that your then your customers will become your ambassador. They're like, they'll go out and say, hey, this, did you try this, did you try this? Like Google, right? Like nobody had to do marketing for them within Google. They just launched and it was such a great product, people started using. Even the same with WhatsApp, right? And you might say, hey, they had a they were very new. No, they were not new. There are dozens of other chat apps when WhatsApp came. What they brought to the table was clean communication, and through phone number. Like before them there was Skype used the email, and it was a little friction. Lot of people in different part of world doesn't didn't had email ID, but these guys, they just made wipe calls very accessible using just a phone number. That was their killer feature, and many others were also trying that, but they did it very so precisely. Initially they just launched text, and then they launched the call came way early, later, right? The first one was just text, and then they kept improving. Like if somebody reads your text, then showing that blue icon, tick icons, oh, then they were growing like crazy. And the people, like a lot of consumers were there. It's a free tool, and Facebook saw that problem, like these guys are going somewhere. So they paid 20 billion for one app. Before that, Facebook brought Instagram just for 1.5 or $2 billion. Even when that Instagram was launched, we are like thinking, what is this one app? There is already camera in Android phones. Like when Instagram launched, I was in a company where we were building phone software, and we were working on Android app. And we were talking between friends, like what are they giving? It's just an camera app, right? And Facebook paid 2 billion for that? No, they just didn't build a camera app. They built a camera, and they built a SaaS face, like social network. That part we didn't get, because the Instagram became a success in US, and before the rest of the world knew, Facebook had already grabbed them for $2 billion. And everybody thought, okay, these some kids made 2 billion out of a crazy small app. But it was not that. It was a consumer product, and they thought how it will change the life of next generation, right? They just brought it, and for 2 billion. And it was a SaaS. We thought that was just a camera, right? And then there was a chat app, this WhatsApp or chat communication app. Then when they bought it for 20 billion, we're like, what? They paid for just a communication tool? Because they did not pay for a communication tool, they paid for consumers. The amount of consumers which were on WhatsApp, that was a crucial uh, point for Facebook to buy, because wherever there are people, Facebook wants to be there, right? They just brought it. And now you imagine, they had Facebook, they brought Instagram, they brought WhatsApp. They're building this ecosystem of products, right? You want to be on social, you create social on Facebook, and then you want photos, you have Instagram, then they integrate it, then WhatsApp. And then they started monetizing, like WhatsApp business they brought, how can they help businesses for chat and all that. So one, like now if somebody else is building one more kind of great consumer products, Facebook will be interested to take that, right? They will try to buy them out. So to begin with, what I was trying to say is like consume, like at the end of the day, somebody has to like it. If you build a product and there is consumer traction, then you should go on pivoting and improving it. If there is no consumer traction, then it's just best to stop that, pause it, or kill it and say, hey, I have been there, done that, and it doesn't work, right? Then your mental time, you can space, you can use for other ideas. Again, try something else. So and this is one more interesting thing, right? We always think any founder who started succeeded, we always think, wow, they started and they succeeded. And I read a lot of biographies, and when I read them, what I realize is many of these folks who are founders or successful founders now, they had a hell lot of failures. For example, Narayan Murthy, even before Infosys became successful, right? So he had some other, he started something else. It failed. It did not take traction. Then the second one was Infosys, right? And it's a mix of lot of things. Like one founder, Info Narayan Murthy, his team, the idea, and the time, like what time they were building. Sometimes if the idea is too early, it will fail. If it's too late, then it will, your competitors will gain market, right? So it should be in time, like on time. Like when WhatsApp was happening, rest of the world internet penetration was going up. 2G, 3G, 4G was happening in India, or right, where they had a lot of consumer base. So many factors coming to picture, like even for YouTube, like suddenly there was a huge increase in YouTubers, and the growth potential changed when Geo came in India, right? So there are some timelines. You should be in right place at right time with the right idea, then it will just take off. So I was recently in a Stripe session in SFO, San Francisco, wherein Patrick Collins, he was mentioning they, before Stripe started in 2012, by the way. Before Stripe, they had built a company which is called Octomatic. So Octomatic uh, was a tool they built for eBay customers. The application lets you list your items as well as manage your sales, but it also helps you understand how to better optimize your selling and maximize profits. So this company was started in 2007, and Triple Byte, former founders. So these three were the founders. Uh, Patrick was also there, right? So these three started this company, and you see here, marketplace for all individual sellers such as Amazon. mm, Offers an auction and marketplace management system for all of those individual sellers on such sites as eBay, Amazon, Overstock, and others. The application lets you list your items as well as manage your sales, but it also helps you understand how to best optimize your listing and maximum. The company also received an investment from Paul Burchett, the lead developer of Gmail. Okay, he invested. He is the co-founder and CEO of Triple Byte, a technical skills assessment for software engineers funded by Y Combinator in 2005. Before that, he joined YC in 2000 as the first non-founding partner. During college, he founded Octomatic, which was funded by YC in 2000 and acquired by Live Current Media 2008. So he started this, and he had 50 customers, and then they just sold it to somebody else. And later he found Stripe, right? Stripe was 2009 year company, right? And it has two 7,000 employees now. So the first ideas always fail, so you should not be like, okay, I launched it failed. Even our first idea we launched, after I was left my job or laid off, and I was thinking what should we start. I listed out all the options and I spoke to a lot of friends, and most of them suggested restaurant may be a good idea. Then we went with a cloud kitchen model, and it took a lot of time. From November December we started, and by the time we launched it, took like 2 months. We launched it. Aromatic cuisine, yeah, aromatic cuisine. The name, not very, it did not catch the consumer attention, right? Like automatic, and there was a lot of friction. We were doing it out of cloud kitchen. We took pre-order, then did it, and my wife used to be the only cook, and it was so stressful for her, like. And it's not about just stress, right? Every time when we had to go there, and most of the time our orders used to come on weekends, and weekends is the time when my daughter will be at home, and we have to arrange for somebody to take care of her, because even the daycare will be not available. So we have to have somebody, and then we would spend whole day there. And we couldn't hire somebody immediately, because most of the recipes, those are only my wife knows. So we had to hire them, then we had to train them, and if there is not consistent work, they won't be motivated and they'll just leave, right? So we were like, let's get a initial traction, like more orders coming in, then we'll have people. So that got some friction, and then we had yeah, but it showed us lot of problems which you will face, like when you are setting up things as a restaurant owner. There will be so many things you have to take care. You have to register the business, you have to get EIN number, you have to get permits, you have to get bank account. Each thing is a beast altogether, right? And then you take care of orders and website, right? So many things. And then we were still running it. And what happened was, the place where we were running our restaurant, the owner had some issues, and he had two businesses. Because of his second business, it created hassle problems for this cloud kitchen wherein we were part of, and he had to close it. So we were told abruptly that, sorry, we had to look out for new space. And we found new spaces were super far than this one, and it added additional complexity. We are still in dilemma whether to move to a new place or not, but our existing catering permit is already invalid, like they just closed it. So what I was trying to tell was, like, yeah, even our first idea failed. Then this is cumulative, like me and my wife. Then, because we were building this restaurant, and we were building a e-commerce solution, we thought many will have this problem. Then I built that one and pitched to many people, and then even that one, right? Restaurant owners are the like, they need lot of help, but they don't have the means and bandwidth, right? uh, they are cash uh, they don't have a lot of cash flow. So it's a very hard problem for them, and we couldn't and even if we are saying we'll do it for free, and you pay only once you see it valuable and all that. But it was a lot of friction, so we learned a lot, and then we again pivoted. Now we made it development agency for any e-commerce and all that. So we are still pivoting ourselves. And this is while I don't have a consistent job, right? And we are using our emergency funds while we are trying all this. But if you have an idea and you try it while you are on a job, that way you don't have a stress, right? If it succeeds, good. If it doesn't succeed, not a problem, right? So then as soon as it gets traction, then you can leave your job and start. This will work for people in India or other part of US. But if you are in US and you are on a H1B visa or some work visa, then there are some things you can't do yourself. Then that option doesn't work. Then you have to do is just doing uh, uh, market research, right? Market research, ask your friends, all that, and go that route. But if you are in other part of the world, or if you are on H4, or you are on green card citizen or something, then you should go do the approach I suggested. That's all for today, guys. And if you like it, give a thumbs up, share it with friends, and thanks for listening. Bye.